Whether you like it or not, your hard-earned knowledge is in the machine, also known as artificial intelligence. Hi, I'm Dr. Angela Mulroney. Welcome to my channel. I would love for you to subscribe as we talk about personal branding mixed in with AI. And today our topic is going to be about how AI is disrupting coaches and consultants and what you can actually do about it. A lot of the coaches and consultants I've talked to have gone from 6 figures, 7-figure coaching consulting companies down to sometimes 0 sales per month. And that was never their norm. And with that has come a decrease in trust. They're, for one thing, starting to not trust themselves, but they're also noticing that the market is less trusting of what they are saying. They need more proof than ever. And the other thing that they're hearing is, well, I can just ask ChatGPT that, so why would I ask you? Here's the hard truth. Your ideal paying clients aren't wrong, that they can get the same answers from you as they can from ChatGPT or similar models. Because your hard-earned intellectual property, experience, expertise, the beautiful things that make you a smarty pants are already in the machine. And it's just a matter of your ideal clients learning how to access that information. Now we've seen AI, public AI, evolve significantly. November 2022, we saw ChatGPT come to the marketplace and it was accessible and it was interesting, it was clunky, it was a cool toy though that had potential. In 6 months from then, I started to see, oh my gosh, copywriting is going to get replaced by this. Then I started to see that it was exponentially easier to put in a crappy prompt and get an amazing answer with high detail, the same kind of level answer you would get from a professional. The turning point for me going, wow, this is intensely accessible, was after I went to a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner when I was in Bali. I went in and asked about the symptoms that I was having and what it would prescribe me for a program, and had it build me out a month-long program, and it built out exactly what that practitioner had recommended. That was a bit of a scary moment. And if you think that your intellectual property, what you know, isn't that accessible to your ideal clients, go on and test it. Ask one of these LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, one of the questions that your client would ask you, and ask it for a detailed answer. If they would ask you for a coaching plan or a schedule of how they should be doing things, ask the machine that and see what comes out, and you might be surprised. Now, if you're surprised, that's okay. Take that surprise and do something with it. Now, when people come up with against conflict, they tend to either get really motivated, they get paralyzed because there's so many things coming at them and they don't know what to do with it, or they stick their head in the sand and hope things will pass. It's also called fight, flight, or freeze. It's our natural reaction to things that feel dangerous. And right now, for a lot of people who are being disrupted by AI, it feels dangerous because your livelihood, your income is potentially in danger of disappearing into the ether. And none of us want that, right? We haven't worked this hard to be able to have the impact that we've had in the past for it to suddenly disappear. So you have some choices. First off, you need to take an honest look at how much AI has already eaten of your business. How much of it is already easily accessible by your ideal paying clients if they know how to ask the right questions. And stick it in a bucket. Is it 0%, 25%, 50%, 75% plus? Whatever you think that number is, it's probably actually higher, unless you have been playing in the AI field and have a good understanding of how to pull information out of these models. And then also look at how fast, if you have been leveraging these models, how fast it's getting better and better. And then predict by 2026, mid-2026, so a year from now, what that is actually going to look like for your business. Because then you can start making some educated choices as to what you're going to do. And there's really 4 categories. Do nothing, which is kind of sticking your head in the sand and hoping it'll pass. This phase isn't going to pass. You can build something, you can leverage what's already out there, or you can pivot. So sticking your head in the sand, not going to address that because you can do that on your own. So let's talk first about building. So for some people, building means they want to build something completely novel that's completely new in the marketplace. What I caution you on with that is if you are trying to build something completely novel, there's probably someone else out there who has already had that thought. And whoever gets the market first is going to get the credit for it. So you're in a complete innovation race by doing that. And you're going to have to probably learn a bunch of things to be able to create something that is completely novel. It's feasible. It is your higher risk build. Your other kind of build is replacing something that already exists. So if you have foundational knowledge that if you ask the machine, it can give you the answer for it. If you build your own product based around your foundational knowledge, then you can replace something that exists already within what you're doing. Now, that may feel scary because you're like, well, I'm just handing my intellectual property over to the machine. Yes, you are, but the machine already has it. So you, by doing that, are going to be able to decide how AI is going to eat your lunch. And you're going to be able to feed AI your lunch on your terms in a way that can benefit you and your ideal paying clients. So if you're going to do something like that, take a look at some of the things that you're doing over and over again and start testing. Okay, could AI follow the same reasoning that I have to get the same answer? So when I was looking at doing this, I did this with my what was used to be called a crack you open session. So clients would come to me, I would interview them, take them through their past, their present, and their future, dig up everything that I could about them that informed me about who they were potentially in the marketplace. That process, the interview process, was 3 hours plus. Then it was 7 hours plus to actually put together their personal branding playbook. It was a 60+ page document that had instructions specifically guiding them. It also had pinpointed strategy specifically for who they are in the market, what their niche of genius is, who they actually need to be targeting, how they're going to target them. So it was a full-on strategy, 100% customized to each of those clients. So that was a 10-hour plus process. And what I did was I was like, well, I don't have a magical brain. Right? Sometimes it feels to my clients like I had a magical brain because suddenly I'd be like, this is your brand. So what I did was start slowing down and paying attention to how I was making the decisions. I went back and looked through previous interviews that I had done with clients and I was like, so I'm asking these questions and my brain is starting to pull pieces together. How is it doing that? And then I trained the model to pattern recognize what I naturally pattern recognized that felt like it was magic. So I trained up a model to do that work for me. And the cool thing about it is, well, it freed up 10+ hours of time per client. So now I can max out however many clients want to come to me to get their personal brand strategy built out. And it takes me no time because the machine completely does it. And the annoying part about that is the machine actually does it better than I used to. And I was pretty darn good at it. And so I have continued to evolve the product such that it allows people to keep getting a better and better output. So we're iterating this product as we go. And that's one of the things, if you're building a product, we're not in the age where you can build something and it's going to be great forever. If you build something, someone else could build something similar that could be better than yours, and then you're going to be iterating yours to get to the next level with it. So if you're building something, you have to be prepared to keep investing in evolving it, which for some people who are motivated by change, that's exciting. Being an innovator is exciting. So that's the build camp. Your second choice is leverage. So there are tons of products out there. There are other people who provide services that you can be leveraging to free up your time to create greater access for your ideal clients, for them to do something over here while you stay in your highest niche of genius, the stuff that only you can do that the machine can't do yet. Because even if you train a machine to do something great, as people go, there's still nuances that need to be adjusted. Sometimes there's mindset stuff, there's self-sabotage that you have to be dealing with. So the machine can't quite deal with that yet. Heavy on the yet. So right now, if you can build things that are your foundational knowledge that people can access, that's great. Or again, leveraging someone else's product. So for example, marketing companies are leveraging my personal branding playbook because they've seen the outcomes for it and they're going, well, this is just easy. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'll white label what you're doing and leverage this for my clients. Same with the content machine. So we have the ability to output things that are completely in someone's tone of voice because they've gone through the playbook. It writes in their tone of voice, it creates images in their brand aesthetic, so there's no incongruency anymore in their brand. So something like that, you can definitely leverage something that's already built. You can also leverage someone else's services. So if you're like, okay, what I'm good at is this, and there's all these other pieces missing that other people could fulfill, then start leveraging other people's services. Now, a lot of people get really scared about leveraging other people's services because they're afraid they're going to lose their client to that person. That is possible. And if you set up referral partnerships cleanly and with boundaries, you can try to actually reduce that. And it's about having good ethics with the people that you're working with. So if someone is willing to take on your client and then send them back to you, that's a good referral partnership. That's kind of like what used to happen in my dental clinic, right? People would send me their patients who were afraid of the dentist, and the deal was I would do the work that needed to be done to get them a baseline foundation of health again, and then I would send them back to that referring dentist. So those referred patients, even if they begged me to keep them, because I was the person who dealt with people who were afraid of the dentist, the deal was I can't. You have to go back to the dentist that you were with. So you want to have those kind of referral partnerships and have that ethical boundary with your referring partnerships to make sure that you're also protecting your business. But the thing is, if you're collaborating with people and you're helping synergistically get your client to the next level, all that's going to happen is you're going to grow. Then your other option is to pivot. So a lot of people are going, okay, well, if AI's already eaten my lunch and it's just going to become more and more accessible to my ideal clients, why am I even going to stay in this industry? Most industries are going to be touched. So you can take your ball and pivot to something similar in your industry. You can take your ball of knowledge and pivot to a completely disparate industry. Now, if you're pivoting to something completely disparate, if you're having to learn the industry, again, AI is not going to be in your favor because that knowledge is in there for other people to advance themselves. So the easier pivot point is actually to move to a similar industry or move to something else within your own industry where you can really leverage all the stuff that you already know. Potentially, you might be doing some leveraging of products. You might be building some of your own products as well so that you stay able to be cutting edge and really stay in that niche of genius that only you can do right now that the machines can't do and that other people can't do at the same level as you. So you have options. There's definitely options out there. You are going to be disrupted by this, and you have a choice whether you stay motivated by it, you get paralyzed, or you stick your head in the sand. And your three best options are to look at whether you build, whether you leverage, or whether you pivot. And again, these are all viable options. Your reaction to what is happening with disruption is completely normal as well. And if you are wanting to really dig into how to do this, figure out which path to pick, I do have a lab that I do called AI Ignition Lab. So this is not letting AI disrupt you, but letting it really ignite your business so that you make sure that you stay viable in the marketplace, that your business doesn't go up in flames, because that is the worst thing that could happen, especially for the talented people that I tend to attract who had amazing coaching or consulting companies that were uber successful, that got amazing results, that have been massively hammered by AI and they're not sure how to recover. This is what the lab is for, is to help you to figure out what is the best path forward for you so that you can remain successful and you can continue to impact those ideal paying clients that you love to work with. Make sure you check out the link below for that lab, and I will see you again next time. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do that as well.